Dr. Amanda Clark looked out the window of the starship Aurora's Edge and felt her heart race. 3 months of travel through deep space had led to this moment. Below them, the planet Zephyr sparkled like a giant crystal ball, its surface covered in towers that seemed to be made of pure light. "Are you ready for this?" Captain Jake Morrison asked as he walked up beside her. His uniform was perfectly pressed, and Amanda could tell he was just as nervous as she was. "As ready as anyone can be for humanity's first real contact with aliens," Amanda replied. She had spent years studying alien life forms, but only the tiny bacteria and simple creatures they had found on dead planets. The Zephyrians were different. They were smart, they had cities, and they wanted to meet humans. The ship's communication system crackled to life. Lisa Grant's voice came through the speakers. "Captain, we're getting a message from the Zephyrian ship. They're ready to come aboard." Jake nodded and pressed the reply button. "Tell them we're honored to have them visit our ship." Amanda walked to the meeting room where the crew had prepared everything for their guests. Ryan Park was there, checking the air systems one more time. He was a good engineer, always making sure everything worked perfectly. The room looked clean and welcoming, with earth flowers in vases and pictures of human cities on the walls. "Remember," Jake said to the crew, "these beings have never seen violence. Their whole planet has been peaceful for thousands of years. We need to be very careful not to scare them." The crew had spent weeks removing anything that might look dangerous. All weapons were locked away in a special room. Even the kitchen knives had been hidden. They wanted to show the Zephyrians that humans were peaceful too. The airlock doors opened with a soft hiss. Amanda held her breath as 3 tall, beautiful creatures walked into the ship. They looked like they were made of living crystal, with bodies that changed color as they moved. Soft musical sounds came from them as they talked to each other. The tallest one stepped forward. When it spoke, the words came out in perfect English, though they sounded like someone singing. "I am called Resonance of Ancient Wisdom. We are very happy to meet the humans." "Welcome to our ship," Jake said with a smile. "I'm Captain Morrison, and this is Dr. Clark, our scientist." Amanda stepped forward and tried not to stare. The alien was incredible, like a walking piece of art. "We're honored to have you here. Would you like to see our ship?" "Yes. We are very curious about how humans live and work," Resonance of Ancient Wisdom replied. The other 2 aliens made soft humming sounds that Amanda guessed meant they agreed. Jake led the group through the ship's main areas. They showed the aliens the dining hall, where humans ate their meals together. The Zephyrians seemed amazed that humans needed to eat solid food, since they got energy directly from light. In the science lab, Amanda explained how humans studied the universe. She showed them microscopes and computers, careful to explain that each tool was used for learning, not fighting. The aliens touched everything gently, their crystal fingers making tiny ringing sounds. "Your species is very clever," one of the other aliens said. Its voice was higher, like wind chimes. "You make tools to help your weak bodies do strong things." Amanda wasn't sure if she should feel insulted or proud. Humans were weaker than these crystal beings, but they were also very good at making tools to help themselves. Ryan Park joined them as they walked through the ship. "Would you like to see how we keep the ship running?" he asked. "The engine room is pretty interesting." The aliens made excited musical sounds. Resonance of Ancient Wisdom turned to the others and they had a quick conversation in their singing language. "Yes, we would like to see how humans make their ships work." They walked down the hallway toward the engine room. Amanda felt proud of their ship. It wasn't the biggest or the newest, but it had brought them safely across the galaxy to meet these amazing beings. "Our species has never needed to travel between stars before," Resonance of Ancient Wisdom explained as they walked. "We lived happily on our world for many thousands of years, but when we learned about humans, we became very curious." "What made you curious about us?" Lisa Grant asked. She had joined the group, leaving her communication station to meet their guests. "Your messages to space were full of such strange ideas," the alien replied. "You talk about building things and fixing things and surviving in dangerous places. Our world has no danger, so we wanted to understand." They reached the engine room and Ryan opened the door with pride. The room was clean and organized, with the big engine humming quietly in the center. Pipes and wires ran along the walls, all clearly labeled. "This is where we make the power that moves our ship," Ryan explained. "And over here is where we keep our tools for fixing things." He opened a cabinet and Amanda saw his face change. Inside were all the tools that the crew used for repairs. Hammers, screwdrivers, wrenches, and saws hung neatly on hooks. The three aliens suddenly stopped making their musical sounds. They stared at the tools with what looked like horror on their crystal faces. "What are those?" Resonance of Ancient Wisdom asked. And for the first time, its voice didn't sound musical. It sounded afraid. Ryan looked confused. "These are just our basic tools. Every ship has them. We use them to fix things when they break." The aliens stepped backward, bumping into each other. They started making rapid, high-pitched sounds that hurt Amanda's ears. "Those are weapons," one of them said. "You have weapons on your ship. Many, many weapons." Amanda felt her heart sink. This was exactly what they had tried to avoid. The three Zephyrians backed away from the tool cabinet as if it contained deadly snakes. Their crystal bodies flashed red and orange, colors that Amanda had never seen them show before. The musical sounds they made were sharp and frightened. "Please, let me explain," Ryan said, reaching for a simple hammer. The moment his hand moved toward it, all three aliens made sounds like breaking glass. "Do not touch the skull-crushing device," Resonance of Ancient Wisdom cried out. Its voice was no longer beautiful and musical. It sounded terrified. Ryan stopped with his hand in the air. He looked at Captain Morrison with confusion. "It's just a hammer. I use it to fix loose panels." "Lies," whispered one of the other aliens. Its crystal body was now flashing bright red. "We see the heavy metal weight designed to break bones. We see the long handle for maximum striking force." Amanda stepped forward slowly, trying to keep her voice calm. "These are construction tools. We use them to build things and repair our ship." But Resonance of Ancient Wisdom was already examining the cabinet with growing horror. It pointed at a screwdriver with one crystal finger. "And this piercing weapon? This metal spike designed to stab through flesh?" "That's for turning screws," Ryan said weakly. "See, screws are these little metal pieces that hold things together." The alien picked up a small screw from Ryan's toolbox. It held the tiny piece of metal up to the light, and its body flashed even brighter red. "You speak of torture devices. These metal spirals are designed to dig into living tissue and hold fast." Captain Morrison tried to step in. "You're misunderstanding. Humans use these tools every day for peaceful work." But the third alien had discovered the power drill. It made a sound like a crystal bell cracking. "A mechanical torture device, designed to bore holes through victims while they still live." Ryan grabbed the drill and tried to show them how it worked. "Look, it just makes holes in wood and metal. Watch." He picked up a piece of scrap wood and started the drill. The moment the drill started spinning, all three aliens screamed. The beam sound was like an entire orchestra playing the wrong notes at once. They pressed themselves against the far wall of the engine room. "Turn off the screaming death machine," Resonance of Ancient Wisdom shouted. Ryan quickly turned off the drill, but the damage was done. The aliens were shaking with fear, their crystal bodies cycling through colors Amanda had never seen before. "It makes the sound of agony," one alien whispered. "The high whining sound of suffering." Lisa Grant came running into the engine room. "What's happening? The whole ship can hear the screaming." Before anyone could answer, Resonance of Ancient Wisdom spotted the circular saw hanging on the wall. It pointed at the saw with a trembling crystal finger. A limb-severing wheel of death, designed to cut through bone and flesh with rotating metal teeth. "It's for cutting wood," Ryan said desperately. "And sometimes metal. Never people." "More lies," the alien said. Its voice was getting higher and more frightened. "You claim these weapons are for building, but we know the truth. Every tool in this chamber is designed for maximum violence." The alien moved to examine more tools. It found a crowbar and gasped. A leverage-amplified bone-breaking bar, designed to crush and pry apart the bodies of enemies. Amanda watched, in horror, as the alien continued its examination. Everything Ryan had said about peaceful uses seemed to make the aliens more frightened. not less. And this, Resonance of Ancient Wisdom said, finding a wrench. A jaw-like crushing device for breaking fingers and crushing skulls. It's for turning nuts and bolts, Ryan said, but his voice sounded defeated. The alien found a box cutter next. A hidden blade weapon, disguised to look harmless until the metal death edge springs out. Captain Morrison tried one more time. These beings have never known violence. They can't understand that the same tool used to hurt someone could be used to help. But Resonance of Ancient Wisdom was examining a simple pair of pliers, gripping torture devices designed to pull and tear at flesh. It dropped the pliers as if they were on fire. The other two aliens were making rapid musical sounds to each other. Amanda didn't need a translation to know they were talking about escape. Your species disguises weapons as work tools, one of them said. You carry an arsenal of death devices and claim they are for peaceful construction. How many beings have died from these torture implements? The third alien asked. How many victims have suffered under your construction tools? Lisa Grant stepped forward. Our tools can be dangerous if used wrong, but we use them to build homes, to fix things that are broken, to create beautiful objects. Impossible, Resonance of Ancient Wisdom said. We have studied your tools. Each one is perfectly designed for maximum harm. The weight distribution, the sharp edges, the mechanical advantage, all created for efficient violence. Ryan tried once more. Look, I'll show you how we use them peacefully. He reached for a simple screwdriver again. All three aliens made alarm sounds and backed toward the door. Do not demonstrate the weapons, Resonance of Ancient Wisdom cried. We have seen enough of your arsenal. The aliens rushed out of the engine room, their crystal bodies flashing bright warning colors. Amanda could hear them making rapid, frightened sounds as they ran down the hallway. Captain Morrison looked at his crew with despair. They think we're a warship carrying torture devices. But they're just tools, Ryan said quietly, looking at his neat cabinet of equipment. I've never hurt anyone with these. I've only built things and fixed things. Amanda stared at the tools, trying to see them through alien eyes. When she looked at the hammer, she could almost see what the Zephyrians saw, a heavy weight designed to strike with force. The screwdriver did look like a stabbing weapon. The saw really did have metal teeth designed to cut through things. We have to fix this, she said. If we can't make them understand, this first contact will be a disaster. But even as she said it, Amanda could hear the aliens in the distance, making alarm calls that sounded like they were calling for help. The three Zephyrians ran through the hallways of the Aurora's edge like they were escaping from a fire. Their crystal bodies flashed bright red and orange, and they made sounds like breaking bells. Amanda and Captain Morrison chased after them, but the aliens were much faster than humans. Please wait, Amanda called out. Let us explain. But Resonance of Ancient Wisdom didn't stop. It reached the communication room and began making rapid musical sounds into the ship's radio. The sounds were so high and sharp that Lisa Grant had to cover her ears. What are they doing? Captain Morrison asked. Lisa checked her equipment with shaking hands. They're sending a message to their home planet. It's some kind of emergency signal. The message went on for several minutes. The three aliens took turns making different sounds, and Amanda could tell they were very upset. Finally, they stopped and turned to face the humans. We have warned our people, Resonance of Ancient Wisdom said. Its beautiful voice was now cold and frightened. They know that humans carry weapons of terrible destruction disguised as work tools. But you're wrong, Ryan said. He had followed them from the engine room, still carrying the simple screwdriver that had started the whole problem. This really is just for fixing things. The aliens backed away from him like he was holding a poisonous snake. Put down the stabbing device, one of them whispered. Ryan looked at the screwdriver in his hand. It was old and worn, with tape around the handle where he had fixed it years ago. He had used it to repair thousands of things. To him, it was just a tool. But to the aliens, it was a weapon. I'll put it away, he said sadly, and slipped it into his pocket. The ship's radio crackled to life. Sounds like a whole choir of crystal beings came through the speakers. Lisa worked quickly to translate the message. Captain, she said, her face pale. The Zephyrian home planet is sending ships. Lots of ships. They think we're here to attack them. Captain Morrison felt his heart sink. This was exactly what Earth had been afraid of. The first meeting between humans and aliens was turning into a disaster. "How long until their ships get here?" he asked. Lisa listened to more singing from the radio. "About 6 hours. And Captain, they're not coming to talk. They're coming to protect their planet from us." Amanda tried one more time to reach the aliens. "Please, you have to believe us. We came here in peace. We don't want to hurt anyone." "Your words say peace, but your ship carries death," Resonance of Ancient Wisdom replied. "We have seen your arsenal. We know what humans really are." The three aliens walked to the airlock where their own ship was connected. They moved like they couldn't wait to get away from the humans. "We will return to our ship now," one of them said. "When our defense fleet arrives, perhaps they will allow you to leave our space alive." "Wait," Captain Morrison called out. "Don't go yet. Give us a chance to show you who we really are." But the aliens were already gone, disappearing into their crystal ship through the airlock. A few minutes later, their ship detached from the Aurora's edge and moved away. Amanda stood at the window and watched the beautiful crystal ship fly back toward the planet. "We've ruined everything," she said. Captain Morrison was already sending a message back to Earth. He told them about the Misunderstanding and the coming Zephyrian fleet. The message would take weeks to reach Earth, but he had to try. "What do we do now?" Ryan asked. "Do we run?" "We can't run," Amanda said. "If we leave now, the Zephyrians will always think humans are dangerous. This might be our only chance to meet aliens, and we're destroying it." Lisa was still listening to the radio messages from the planet below. "More ships are launching," she reported. "I count at least 20 so far." The crew gathered in the meeting room to decide what to do. They could try to escape, but their ship was not built for fighting. The Zephyrians had surrounded their planet with defensive ships, and the Aurora's edge would not be able to get away. "Maybe we should hide all the tools," Ryan suggested. "Put them somewhere the aliens can't see them." "That won't work," Amanda said. "They already know we have them. And besides, we need our tools. Without them, we can't fix anything that breaks on the ship." Captain Morrison looked out at the planet below. More crystal ships were rising from the surface, looking like bright stars against the colorful sky. "There has to be a way to make them understand," he said. "These tools are part of who we are. Humans have always made tools to help us survive. But they don't need tools," Lisa pointed out. "Look at them, they're made of crystal. They're probably stronger than any of our tools. They get energy from light. They don't understand why we need help to do things." Amanda had an idea. "What if that's the answer? What if we show them how weak we are without our tools?" "What do you mean?" Ryan asked. "I mean, what if we show them that humans need tools to survive? Not to hurt others, but to help ourselves?" Captain Morrison thought about this. "It might work, but how do we prove it?" Before Amanda could answer, the radio crackled again. This time the message was in English. "Human ship," a new voice said. It sounded like wind chimes in a storm. "This is the Zephyrian Defense Fleet. You will prepare to be boarded and searched for weapons." "They want to search our ship," Lisa said. "Let them," Amanda said suddenly. "Let them see everything. Show them our medical supplies, our repair work, our construction projects. Show them how we use every tool." "Are you crazy?" Ryan asked. "When they see our emergency supplies, they'll think we're an invasion fleet." Amanda smiled for the first time since the aliens had run away. "Maybe that's exactly what we need to happen." The Zephyrian defense ships surrounded the Aurora's edge like bright stars in the darkness of space. Amanda counted 37 crystal vessels, each one glowing with different colors. They were beautiful, but also terrifying. "Human ship, prepare for boarding," came the voice over the radio. This speaker sounded older and more serious than the aliens they had met before. "We will examine your weapon systems." Captain Morrison took a deep breath. "This is Captain Morrison. We welcome your inspection. We have nothing to hide." Amanda gathered the crew in the meeting room. "Remember what we talked about. Let them see everything. Don't try to hide the tools or explain them away. Instead, show them why we need them. Ryan looked nervous. What if they take our tools away? How will we fix things if something breaks? We'll worry about that later, Amanda said. Right now, we need to make them understand that we're not warriors. The airlock opened and 12 Zephyrian soldiers floated into the ship. They were different from the 3 scientists who had visited before. These aliens were larger, and their crystal bodies were dark blue and silver. They moved like they were ready for a fight. The leader approached Captain Morrison. "I am Guardian of the Sacred Light," it said in a voice like thunder made of music. "We are here to find your hidden weapons." "You're welcome to search anywhere you want," Captain Morrison replied. "But I want to ask you something first. Do you know why humans need tools?" The Guardian made a sound like ice cracking. "Your species uses tools to cause pain and death. We have heard the reports from our scientists." "That's not true," Amanda said, stepping forward. "May I show you something?" The Guardian's crystal body flashed warning colors, but it nodded. Amanda walked to a wall panel and tried to remove it with her bare hands. She pulled and pushed, but nothing happened. The panel was held in place by screws that were too tight for human fingers to turn. "I can't open this panel without help," she said. "My hands are too weak." She took out a screwdriver and quickly removed the screws. The panel came away easily, showing the wires and systems inside. "Now watch what happens when I try to fix a loose wire," Amanda said. She pointed to a wire that had come free from its connection. "I can't push it back into place with my fingers, the space is too small." She used the screwdriver to gently push the wire back where it belonged. Then she replaced the panel. "Your tool helped you fix something," one of the younger Zephyrian soldiers said. It sounded surprised. "That's what tools are for," Amanda said. "Humans are not very strong. We can't change our shape like you can. We can't reach into small spaces or grip things tightly, so we make tools to help us." Guardian of the Sacred Light was not convinced. "But these same tools can be used to hurt others?" "Yes," Amanda said honestly. "They can, but that's not why we made them. We made them because we needed help to survive." Ryan stepped forward. "Can I show you something else?" he asked. The Guardian nodded, but several soldiers moved closer, ready to act if Ryan tried anything dangerous. Ryan led them to the ship's emergency supplies. When the Zephyrians saw the axes and saws stored there, they made alarm sounds. "Decapitation. Devices," one soldier shouted. "Dismemberment tools." "Wait," Ryan said. "Let me show you why we have these." He brought up a video on the wall screen. It showed a space station that had been damaged by flying rocks. "This happened to one of our stations last year," Ryan explained. "The metal walls were bent and twisted. The doors wouldn't open. People were trapped inside and they were running out of air." The video showed human rescue workers using axes and cutting tools to break through the damaged walls. They worked quickly and carefully, making holes big enough for people to escape through. "We use these tools to save lives," Ryan said. "Without them, those people would have died." The Zephyrians watched the video in silence. Amanda could see their crystal bodies changing from angry red to thoughtful purple. "Your species is so fragile," Guardian of the Sacred Light said finally. "You must work very hard just to stay alive." "That's right," Amanda said. "We can't survive in space without our ships. We can't breathe underwater without special equipment. We can't even see in the dark without lights." Lisa joined the conversation. "Would you like to see our medical supplies?" she asked. "I think you'll find them interesting." The Guardian nodded, and Lisa led them to the ship's medical room. When the Zephyrians saw the surgical tools, they started to make alarm sounds again. "More weapons," a soldier cried. "No," Lisa said gently. "Watch." She brought up a medical training video that showed doctors using the tools to help injured people. The video showed a surgeon using a scalpel to remove a dangerous infection from a patient. "The cutting tool saved this person's life," Lisa explained. "Without it, the infection would have killed her." The aliens watched more videos showing doctors using their tools to help people. They saw broken bones being fixed, diseases being cured, and lives being saved. "Every tool that can hurt can also heal," Amanda said. "It depends on who uses it and why." Guardian of the Sacred Light was quiet for a long time. Finally, it spoke. "Show us more." Show us how humans use these tools in their daily lives. For the next several hours, the crew showed the Zephyrians videos and demonstrations. They showed humans building houses with hammers and saws. They showed farmers using tools to grow food. They showed artists creating beautiful things with simple equipment. The aliens began to understand that human tools were not weapons in disguise. They were survival equipment for a species that was much weaker than they had realized. "Your people are remarkable," Guardian of the Sacred Light said finally. "You take simple pieces of metal and wood, and you use them to build entire civilizations." "We have to," Amanda said. "Without our tools, humans would still be living in caves and dying young." The Guardian looked at its soldiers. Their crystal bodies were now glowing with soft, peaceful colors. "Perhaps," the Guardian said slowly, "we have misunderstood the nature of humanity." Guardian of the Sacred Light stood in the center of the Aurora's edge and looked around at all the human tools with new eyes. What had seemed like weapons of death a few hours ago now looked like the clever inventions of a species trying to survive in a dangerous universe. "We have made a great mistake," the Guardian said to Captain Morrison. "We saw your tools and thought only of violence because we have never known violence. We did not understand that the same thing that can destroy can also create." Amanda felt relief wash over her like cool water. "Does this mean you understand now? That humans are not here to fight?" "Yes," the Guardian replied. "But we have learned something even more important. We have learned that your species is far more clever than we realized. You take simple materials and make them into solutions for every problem." Resonance of ancient wisdom appeared in the doorway. The young scientist looked embarrassed, its crystal body showing soft pink colors. "I am sorry for my fear," it said to the human crew. "I have never seen beings who needed so much help just to live. Your tools are not weapons. They are like extra hands and extra strength for creatures who were not born with enough of either." Ryan smiled and picked up his old screwdriver. "Would you like to try using some of our tools? I can show you how they work." The young alien's body flashed with excited yellow light. "Yes, I would like that very much." Ryan found a simple project for the alien to try. He gave Resonance of Ancient Wisdom a screwdriver and showed it how to remove a panel from the wall. The alien's crystal fingers were clumsy with the unfamiliar tool, but after a few tries it managed to turn the screws. "It is like having a finger that is perfectly shaped for this one job," the alien said with wonder. "Humans make special fingers for every task." "That's exactly right," Ryan said, laughing. "We make tools because we don't have the right fingers for every job." Guardian of the Sacred Light watched the demonstration with interest. "Your species sees a problem and creates a solution. Our species changes ourselves to fit the problem. Both ways work, but yours is much more creative." Captain Morrison had an idea. "What if we work together? Your people are strong and can change shape. Our people are good at making tools and solving problems. We could help each other." The Guardian's crystal body began to glow with bright, happy colors. "This is a wonderful idea. What kind of work could we do together?" Amanda stepped forward. "We could build things that neither of our species could build alone. You could shape materials in ways our tools cannot. We could design things that your people might not think of." "Like what?" asked one of the younger Zephyrian soldiers. Lisa had been thinking about this. "What about a space station? Humans could design it and bring the tools. Zephyrians could shape the materials and provide the energy. Together we could build something amazing." The Guardian made musical sounds that Amanda now recognized as laughter. A space station built by tool makers and shape changers? It would be the most interesting structure in the galaxy. Over the next few hours, the two species began planning their first joint project. The Zephyrians were fascinated by human engineering drawings and blueprints. The humans were amazed by the Zephyrians' ability to change the shape and strength of materials just by singing to them. "Your hammers and saws cut materials into the shapes you need," Resonance of Ancient Wisdom explained. "Our songs convince the materials to become the shapes we want. Very different methods, but both get the job done." Ryan was excited. "What if we combined both methods? We could use our tools to do the rough work, and you could use your songs to make everything perfect." And we could teach each other, Amanda added. Humans could learn about harmonic shaping, and Zephyrians could learn about tool making. The Guardian agreed to take the idea back to the Zephyrian leadership. I think they will be very interested. Our people have always wondered what it would be like to work with other intelligent beings. As the Zephyrian boarding party prepared to leave, Amanda felt sad to see them go. Will we see you again? Very soon, the Guardian promised. We will return with engineers and builders. And next time, we will not be afraid of your wonderful tools. Resonance of Ancient Wisdom was the last to leave. It had spent the day learning to use various human tools and was clearly enjoying itself. I have a question, it said to Ryan. Why do you keep your tools so neat and organized? Every tool has its own place, Ryan grinned. Because a tool that you can't find when you need it is useless. Organization is just another kind of tool. The alien's body flashed with understanding. Humans make tools for their minds as well as their hands. Amazing. After the Zephyrians left, the crew of the Aurora's Edge sat in their meeting room and talked about what had happened. I can't believe we almost started a war over a screwdriver, Lisa said. It wasn't really about the screwdriver, Amanda said thoughtfully. It was about understanding. The Zephyrians had never seen violence, so they couldn't imagine that something capable of violence could be used for peace. Captain Morrison nodded. And we had never met beings who didn't need tools, so we couldn't imagine how strange our equipment would look to them. The important thing is that we figured it out, Ryan said. Now we're going to build something together instead of fighting. 3 weeks later, the first joint human-Zephyrian construction project began. The space station they built was unlike anything either species had ever created alone. Human tools and Zephyrian songs worked together to create something that was both practical and beautiful. The station became a symbol of what could happen when different species tried to understand each other instead of fearing their differences. It was staffed by both humans and Zephyrians, who continued to learn from each other every day. Amanda often visited the station's workshop, where human engineers and Zephyrian shapers worked side by side. The room was full of tools that had once been seen as weapons, but were now recognized as instruments of creation and cooperation. She would watch Ryan teaching young Zephyrian students how to use a hammer, while an elderly Zephyrian master taught human apprentices how to sing metal into new shapes. The sight always made her smile. The galaxy was a little less lonely now and a little more full of possibilities.